Hey guys, so you want to know how to design clothing that'll best fit your character? Well, you're in luck, because with my vast range of knowledge from playing fashion games and drawing things, I'll be able to provide you with some tips that could possibly help when considering what kinds of outfits would suit your OC and how to design them. In this video, I'm going to go over some key factors to keep in mind when it comes to designing outfits for your characters. Then, I'm going to design outfits for 5 original characters that I've made so that I can show you my technique and thought process so we can put what we've learned to action. So, let's get to it. So there are several key things to consider when coming up with a design. I've made a list with all the different things that I've came up with so far for things that could possibly affect their design. I've boiled it down to these. 1, their age. The age of your OC will somewhat impact what kinds of clothes they're most likely to wear. Typically, elderly people tend to wear more modest clothing, while children may wear playful, cute clothing that has been designed for kids. Just think of people who are various ages and observe how they dress according to their age. Obviously, this isn't a one-size-fits-all. Like, you can wear whatever you want no matter how old you are, but this is just kind of the norm, I suppose. Next is their profession. This may or may not apply to your character if they don't have a specific job or duty, but someone's profession can affect how they want to dress. Think of how someone who works at a grocery store dresses different from, let's say, a salaryman, or how would a doctor dress compared to a construction worker? Maybe someone who works a more labor-intensive job will want to be more casual, carefree, and comfortable while they're not at work, while someone who works at, like, an office job maybe likes to wear fancy clothing and look nice on a daily basis. This also isn't a rigid rule, because you could always have someone who works as an office worker, but off the clock, they are goth. Wow. This is just a thing to consider though when brainstorming. Another thing is for different universes, like fantasy worlds. How would people dress for their professions there? Like a blacksmith, or a mage, or a swordsman. Profession is just another little cog to consider when thinking of your character's general vibe. 3 is the era. So the era that your character is from is also very important, because we'll have to do some research on what people from that time used to dress like what were the trends of that time, what was common for people to wear around that time. You can always find references online for style trends of the time you're looking for. 4 is the country for worlds based on ours. Another thing to consider if your story takes place in a different country than the one you live in is how do people dress in that country? Some cultures have very distinct styles that they wear. Once again, it's best to do research when writing a character from another country so we can be as accurate as possible in order to more fully immerse people in your story and characters. Number 5 is weather or season. This is just a little one. Just keep in mind that your characters will want to dress according to the weather or current season in their area. 6 is their mood. Another key factor in considering outfit design is how they feel. Maybe if your character feels raring and ready to go, happy and energetic, they might put more effort into what they wear if they like that sort of thing. On the other hand, if you've got a sad character, they may opt for something more comfortable so they don't feel like their feelings clash with their outfit. I know I've definitely been there in picking out outfits. Sometimes I'll pick out something that's cute and happy, but maybe I don't feel up to presenting myself that way. So I end up throwing on an oversized t-shirt instead, which is much better. Number 7 is the universe or the world that you're writing. The universe your character resides in is a very important thing to consider, because if you're writing characters for a fantasy world, they probably won't be dressing in streetwear you'd see here. Again, references are going to be key for figuring out what kind of aesthetics will will fit the styles of the inhabitants of the world you're designing. Speaking of references, another really helpful thing that I highly recommend that you do is take a look at popular media like famous video games and anime and look at how the creators design their characters. You can definitely learn a lot by observing what professionals do, you know? Number 8 is their interests, like hobbies, favorite music, favorite colors, just overall, like what kinds of things do they like? We have to envision our characters like they're actual people, like you and me. We all have different things we like and are interested in. For instance, I'm interested in art, music, design, fashion, DIY, psychology, philosophy, and vintage things, just to name a few. My favorite types of music is 80s and 90s music. I like J-pop. I like video game OSTs. As for colors, I really like neutral, cozy colors like autumn colors. My favorite season is spring, and I also really like fall. Also, I know that to some people this is really cringe, but I really love all things Japanese. Like, I'm like a weeb. I love anime and manga, and I'm learning Japanese and want to go to Japan. So yeah, sorry. I love dogs and cats. I like little fake plants and video games. And guess what? Your character should be able to enjoy things like this in life too. So imagine what kinds of things they're into. Number 9 is overall personality. This is another super important factor to consider while you're thinking of a design. There are so many personalities around us. Just think of all the people you know and how they differ from each other. One person may be quiet, shy, and maybe they don't like to be in the spotlight, while another may be super eccentric and flamboyant. There are so many different combinations of factors in our personalities. We're pretty complex beings, so be sure to map out what kind of person your character is. I'll be sure to give a few more in-depth examples once we get into the actual designing bit soon. Also, P.S. Remember, the internet is our friend too, and we can always search different aspects of various personalities. Anywho, the 9 factors that I just went over with you will directly affect these things. There's a plethora of different aesthetics and styles out there, from cottagecore to athleisure. Choosing a fitting aesthetic for your character will require you to essentially play a little matching game by matching the aforementioned characteristics with the characteristics of a certain aesthetic or vibe that they're gonna be into. Maybe your character has multiple aesthetics they'd be interested in too. It's okay to mix and match them too. I definitely like to combine them together for a unique look myself that kind of defines me. Also, I really want to mention that learning how to actually balance and put outfits together so they look good is super important. I'll go through my process for that when we get to the designing portion, but I would definitely recommend doing more research on that yourself and learn more things just about fashion in general, because that really helps when you have a certain vibe that you want to achieve but don't necessarily know what kinds of pieces would fit that, which is why, once again, for like the 10th time, references are so helpful. Now, I'm going to go over 5 different examples using all the knowledge we've learned in order to design a well-fitting outfit for our characters. I'll also go over some more practical art-related tips for actually drawing and designing their outfits. I'm going to be using Clip Studio Paint on my PC to show you the process. So, let's get started. Alright, here is Sydney's line art. I just drew all of my characters, and then on a different layer, I lowered the opacity of like their base drawings, and then on a different layer, I'm just drawing over that with the line art for the outfits. So I decided on doing like a long skirt for her, paired with a tucked in, oversized blouse. I don't even know if you can call that a blouse. I guess it's like a t-shirt. Yeah, and I figured I would add this undershirt under it, and I added a little bee necklace. I thought that would be cute. But anyway, something that I wanted to note is, you know those fashion games? I mean, maybe you're not into that type of thing, but I used to play these fashion games on my DS when I was younger, and you'd have like these people come into your like boutique and they would they'd ask for a specific type of like outfit. So they're like, oh, I want something like classy and sophisticated, or I want something that's like bright and happy, and then you have to like pick it out. That's kind of how I think when I'm doing these. It's like you have their descriptions and like how they are, and then you think, what would they ask for? Like, what would they want? That's like basically what my mind is thinking. And then also like it helps so much to know about different pieces and their overall vibes, I guess, of those pieces and like what they go well with. Like some pieces you can like put in almost anywhere and it would fit with anything. Okay, so this is Marcel. His line art is super simple because I'm not quite as good at drawing men as I am at drawing women. I spend a lot more time drawing cute anime girls than I do anime men. So I figured I would give him more of a sophisticated look. I went for this high-rise pants look or slacks, I guess, with a belt, just basic. I mean, this is what you'd see people wearing out, well, maybe not on the street, but at like an office job, I don't know. But this is what he likes to wear. This is his normal everyday style. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna give him a turtleneck, but then later I decide I do not want to give him a turtleneck. You still have yet to see that though. So I added these little things to his pants. I thought that it would be like his pants like tucked at the bottom, but later I decided they were gonna be socks. So I decided against the turtleneck because it was too plain. I wanted it to be a little bit more stuff going on. So I turned it into a collar shirt or under a sweater vest. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. And then I was like, okay, this shirt, or this sweater, I guess, needs to have some gravity and not just stick to the skin. So I was looking at some references for how other people draw sweaters because, yeah. And then I was like, okay, so it needs to hang down a little bit here, and there we go. It's good. So I made it a little thicker for the sleeves, so it's not just his arms. To make it look like it's like an actual thing. Yeah, like an actual sweater. I made him like holding a cup of coffee in like a really stiff pose because I thought that it would like fit his character. I think I'm pretty satisfied. And yeah, I also made his head too big because I make almost everyone's head too big and have to go back and shrink it later. That's just a thing. Here is Paul. He's old. I know I mentioned that he really likes silly ties, and that will be fixed later. And I was like, oh, he needs a silly tie. That's gonna come. Not yet though. So yeah, I just figured I'd give him like a loose dress shirt. or do you call that that? No, not a dress shirt, like a button-up shirt. Yeah. Because he's like a grandpa style, so I just thought in my head, grandpa, and this is what I came up with. So I gave him these like longer shorts. Yeah, still doing the shorts. And then here's these compression socks, cause grandpa gotta get those grandpa shoes. Fortunately for you, half of this whole section right here for Paul is going to be spent on these grandpa shoes. Thankfully though, I didn't spend the time drawing a whole new shoe. I totally just replicated it and moved it over to the other side. And yeah, he's basically done for line art. Now we got Yuri, and I wanted to give her some cutesy fantasy clothes because I have a fun time designing those. So I gave her like this like scarf bow thing, but it's like also a shawl. You'll see the scarf. I don't do the scarf yet. But yeah, I gave her like a simple dress under it. I thought buttons all the way down was gonna be fine. Later I discovered, no, it's not fine. So I was like, what am I gonna put here in the middle to take up this space? I gave up. I'll come back to it later. So yeah, here we go with the scarf. I thought it would be cool, have it like waving around in the background. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, so then here we go with these long socks that I can't stop drawing. They're not going to be there for very long though. And then I decide on these kind of shorter boots. I mean, they're still long boots, but I mean, shorter than what I originally was intending to go with. So yeah, they're just brown boots, you know, just normal boots. Yeah, gotta spend a long time on those boots. Here we go. Yeah. Also, references are really helpful for, especially if you're first starting out drawing clothing. After you start kind of learning how to draw certain pieces and like what they look like drawn in your style, it'll be a lot easier to continue to do that without references after you get enough experience drawing. So yeah, I added that belt. I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought it was better than the weird thing that was around her waist first. Okay, it's shoelace time. Yeah. Okay, lots of shoelaces. Alright, yeah, I added that thing on her hair, and then I was like, yeah, no, it's a little bit too much here, you know, gotta keep it a little bit simple. So, yeah. I had to make her boots smaller because I thought they looked a little bit weird. Alright, here is Wayland. So I added this scarf because I thought it would be cool. And I was right. It is so cool. And obviously, it is blowing in the wind. And then I added this like sweater, hoodie sweater kind of thing, cardigan. Yeah, it's like a cardigan with a hood on it. Then we're gonna add a loose-fitting t-shirt and some high-rise pant things. They're like capris, I guess. Well, actually, those do go down to the ankles, but they have the capri vibes, you know? Okay, so yeah, here's some pants. And here's some feet, and now we're gonna do the sandals. I figured just like some simple design, nothing too intricate. You'll see that I drew his other, oh my gosh, it's already done. Okay. Alright, section 2, flat colors. This is Sydney and her flat colors. I decided on neutral colors. I picked the color palettes off screen. I did record it, but then I decided not to include that because I ended up not even really sticking to it anyway and just picking different ones as I went because I thought they looked better. But just pick whatever colors you think look at least somewhat okay together, because we can always put overlays over them and make them look more like they go together later, which you'll see. I know it's really fast, but I did that with all of these actually. So I basically am just doing like natural colors, like fall colors, like my favorite colors, I guess. Yeah, I wanted to give her green shoes. Later, I kind of changed it to a more like gray. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, okay. Time to do those laces. There we go. That's pretty good. So yeah, it's just me filling in the flat colors, and I mean, you know, it's not all that exciting. Alright, here is Marcel with his flat colors. I tried a different approach and tried to fill in all of it with one color and then color over that. I see other people do that. I found out later that maybe for this, it's not the best thing. But you know, it was okay. It's just that it's super time consuming. I know there's quicker ways too, but I like to take the hard way. I work harder, not smarter, guys, okay? Anyway, so yeah, I'm deciding on more like cool colors that they're still pleasing and they go together, but they're also kind of have a cool vibe to them. Like cool as in cold, not cool. Yeah. Yeah, so this is Paul. Here's Paul. I gave him vibrant colors because this is his excitement in his life, because he doesn't get any excitement anywhere else. Yeah, so the grandpa shoes have to do the all white. Oh, and here's Yuri. We got, oh my gosh, yeah, I just remembered. Yuri ends up being the problem child of all of these designs because I could not decide on what color. Like, yo, here we go. It's the 50 times fastening Yuri. Okay. Yeah, you'll see here, I could not decide on what colors go together and what looked good together. It seemed like I was just hitting my head against a wall the whole time. I sped this up by 50 because I'm not gonna make you watch the entire hour that this went on for. But yeah, eventually we do decide on some good colors. After a lot of struggling. Yeah, like I tried changing everything for a while, and then I went back to the more like purpley blues and whatever style. Yeah, so there's that. And now we're on to Wayland. His, I did not have basically any problems figuring out colors for. Part of the way through, I decided I wanted him to be a fox, because at first he was going to be a cat, but then I was like, I think it would be a lot cuter if he were a fox. So that's what I did. So yeah, just doing like, kind of like pale colors, darker. That was very fast. We are on to rendering now. Here is Sydney and her rendering. I just took my pencil and did a multiply layer over all of the colors. So I just condensed all the colors down into one layer and put a multiply layer over that. And I clipped it to it. And I just pick out a light color. Like for her, I did like a warmer light color, like a really light pink, but like not pink, like more like really light red. And I'm just coloring in where I think the shadows are. And you will see me struggle through that and get a lot of it wrong, but you know what? I think it looks good, and that's what matters. So yeah, here's the shadows for the skirt. This is my least favorite thing to do, is pants and skirts, especially ones like these. But you'll see I did get it figured out, and by figured out I mean very badly done, but it's okay. Yeah, so here's the shoes. I like doing the shoes. I don't know why. Yeah, so... Okay, yeah, I forgot about this. I added little flowers on there. That's awesome. Yeah, I just drew like a little set of them and then just kept copy and pasting them and multiplying them. Yes. And we're gonna cover that entire skirt. Awesome. And then I lowered the opacity on those. And then time for some highlights and some extra details. Highlights to the hair. There you go. Makes the whole thing complete. Wow. Very nice. Okay. Now we are on to Marcel. You'll see that I very much failed on the shadows for his face. I will fix it later though. You'll see. Yeah, you see that. I realized there's something that needed to be fixed. And then here is the sweater. I figured simple is better. Here is the pants. My, once again, least favorite part. And there we go. See, that was pretty simple. That's because I edited a lot of it out because we don't have a lot of time to be sitting here and watching me fiddle around with the pants. Alright, time for highlights. Ta-da! Highlight time. Highlight time. Alright. This is the fun part, adding these little glowies to the glasses and then lowering the opacity. That's the good. Yeah, so that's where I decided that they would be socks. Now I'm making all the whites warmer. Okay, well, it's done already. Here is Paul. Paul. Oh my gosh, there's the color corrections. Yes. I make everything more appealing right now. There we go. And now it's Paul. It's time for Paul, guys. Alright, this was me deciding what I was gonna do with his tie. Time to add more of those flowers. They're going everywhere today. Everywhere. More flowers for Paul. That's what he likes. Time to do the shoes. I messed around with those for too long and edited it out. Oh my gosh, edited it out. Yeah, so here's some shadows. I went with a warmer color for him. There's the shirt. I tried really hard on it, if you couldn't tell. And here's the pants, my least favorite part. And here we go. It's time for skin and the shoes. My favorite part is the shoes. There we go. All right, gonna do the stool, even though you barely notice it. And now it's Yuri. Alright, watch me try to fix the colors again for like 20 times. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good. I went with a cooler, like a cooler pink purple color, and then yeah, nothing too complicated for me here. Oh my gosh, wait, I spoke too soon. Yeah, I had a terrible time with that stupid dress. I couldn't figure it out, so I just airbrushed it and fixed it. It's all better now. She's done. That was simple. And I decided I would make it more yellow. Yeah, now it has like a more of a pastel yellow tint, but it's still pink, you know? Okay, and then here is Wayland. He is more red. I picked like a really light red for this one. Red orange. Yeah, so now I'm doing the hair, just doing kind of like messy shadows all over the place. And yeah. Now it's time for the scarf and all these. And the pants. Very nice. And then I figured now is the time for the fox to commence. And I did not draw a tail, so I'm doing that now super quick. And there we go. I don't know, I just thought that a fox would be cuter than doing like a cat, because I just thought a fox is unique, you know? So yeah, that is very cute. Very nice. So I did a red overlay to make everything more red. Or I guess it's just a normal layer, but less opaque. And then here we go with the little details. And we're done. Okay, that is it for the designs. Here is how they turned out. I know there's a huge variety of genres and character types that I didn't cover for how to do, and my examples are pretty basic, especially if you're writing something that's really out there, which is why I especially implore you to use references and do online research for the type of thing that you're doing. However, this way of thinking about styling them based on personality and circumstance and such, I think can still be helpful even if your characters are way different. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope that you got something helpful out of this. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like and possibly subscribe if you want to support what I'm doing. If there's any other things that you'd like me to cover in future videos, let me know in the comments, and let me know how I did. This is my first long form video that I've actually edited and done voiceovers and everything, so let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for watching. Alright, bye.